said, look, just give him the 10. I mean, he's confessing to it. You know he walked away from this 4 years ago. You really don't have a case. And he's willing to give you everything he has that you can't take because the statute of limitations of that had run out way long ago. And he's doing all this voluntarily. The prosecutor said, well, we'll recommend it, but it's up to the judge. And walked to the courtroom. The judge is like, Mr. Valdes, my intention is to sentence you to a life sentence. Young man, you're going to die in a federal prison. And I looked at him and said, Your Honor, you can only give me what God wants to give me. And the truth of the matter is, if my life changes, doesn't change, I don't give a damn where I die. Prison don't scare me. So, a year went by and I was given the 10 years because my attorneys were able to argue and the prosecutor agreed that I had cooperated extensively by giving him all of my assets.
Initially, they gave you life?
No.
Oh.
That's when I went to, because you go in front of the judge to plead, right? It was called your arraignment. And you plead guilty or not guilty. So I went in there to plead guilty. When I go in there to plead guilty, the judge, or anyone does, the judge tells you what you are exposed to, what you can get. But, they knew that it wasn't that I got caught and I'm sorry. The good thing I knew that I could, one of the things that would have held me back from doing that was if I had to testify against anybody, because you hear about when I got arrested in Panama, I was tortured for 28 days.
Yeah, I want to go circle back to that.
But I walked out I went back to prison and I said, I got a choice. I can either sleep 12 hours. It may say you sleep 12 hours, you sleep half of your sentence away. Or I can do something about my life. So I made myself believe, which is all your mindset, right? Your whole life is your mindset. How you look at the world. It doesn't matter that this is water. What matters is, how is my mind looking at that water? Does it look at, I can make $1 off of it? Or does it look at like, wow, I'm dying of thirst, it can satisfy me? Or, man, maybe that water has been in heat and they say plastic has got cancer. It's all in your mind, right? It's all how you look at it. So I said, I'm going to make believe I'm in a monastery. And I began to study. I got another bachelor's degree. I taught myself Greek. I started half of my master's. When I was released from prison, I went back to Wheaton College in Illinois, and I finished my master's. Then I went to Loyola University, got a PhD. When I graduated, I was one of 5 Hispanics in the whole country with a PhD in New Testament and ethics. And I was named a Hispanic doctoral student in America by the Pew Foundation 2 years in a row. And then I was recruited by every university. And then I looked at my salary, $90,000. And I got 6 kids. How do I educate them? Because for Cubans, education is everything, right? So and then my dad had died, and my children, that little girl and her 2 other siblings, were living in Georgia, and I'm in Illinois. And I'm getting this job in California. And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm going to move to Georgia, and I'm going to be a full-time dad to those kids. And she's like, what are you going to do? I mean, your dream is to teach. I said, yeah. I said, that's been my dream for the last 7 years. I said, but my kids don't care about my dream. How are they going to remember me? A dad that sent a check every month and had a good summer? I want to be there. And I did. And I moved, didn't know what to do, and I started a little cleaning company in the basement of my house.
Yeah?
Taking out water damage and fire damage and cleaning toilets. And wrote my book. It was a bestseller at that time. And so I was out there preaching, and at the same time I was out there cleaning carpet. And then in 10 years, I built it into a multi-million-dollar national, international company.
The cleaning business?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we did jobs in London. We did jobs in Grand Cayman, all over the United States. And then my customers were governments. And at the end, I'm sitting there on the last job, and I'm in Louisiana. And we had just built the first Catholic church inside any United States prison. At Angola, a place that no one, a prison called Angola in Louisiana.
You were building churches inside one.
Inside one prison? Yeah, this was just, when we built our company, we made a decision, me and 2 other partners, my brother and my other partner, that we give 10% off the top to our foundation to impact other people's life, because I determined that what makes a great company is not great technology, great employees, great customer. It's a company that gives back. And so we created a foundation that I ran, and I still run today. And one of the things the foundation did is build this church, because it's a prison that there was 2 or 3 evangelical chapels, but there was no Catholic chapel in Louisiana, a very Catholic state. And those men are never going to go home. 6,500 men, mostly sentenced to life or death. And in Louisiana, life means you died there. 3 cemeteries. You know, it's where they did the movie Dead Man Walking. So we had just finished a huge job, 3-year job. And I sat there. You know, I lived in a motorhome for those 3 years. I had a big motorhome, which was my office, because our job, since they were government, we had to go and park, like right there. You know, there's no, be a hurricane, national fire, whatever the catastrophe could be. And I'm sitting there, and it dawned to myself, you know, I got 2 kids left, 2 young kids left. And my other 4 literally don't know me, right? My oldest son, by the time he was 13, I had been in jail 10 years. And yeah, we're very close. All of us are very close. I've educated all of them. And I told my wife, I'm going to quit. And she's like, you're going to what? I said, yeah, I'm going to stop. I'm going to retire. 56. And she's like, man, you worked your life to get to this point. And we were making millions. You know, we had jets again. I had a 90-foot yacht. And I said, look, I don't need a jet. I don't need the yacht. And I got enough money to live very comfortably the rest of my life. And I don't need no more zeros. And I quit. And I went to run the foundation in Mexico. We took my kids and we moved to Cozumel, Mexico for 5 years. And I wanted my kids to learn a different culture. I wanted them to see my wife and I grew up poor. And all of a sudden we were not poor. We were very wealthy. And we're living in a mansion. And we had fancy vacation and private jets. And my kids going to the best school. And I looked at her and I like, even though we were very careful and we never gave our kids more than $100 every Christmas. And they said, you take that and you get 3 gifts. Jesus got 3, you get 3. You're no better than Jesus. And they all were great with that. But
you get 3 what?
I said, Jesus got 3 gifts. That's all you get during Christmas.
Got it. Okay.
So I told her, I need to show them what the real world is. And the world we live now is not real. This is not real. This is a fantasy world. And said, let's go to Cozumel for 1 year. So we bought a house over there, an apartment on the ocean. And we stayed 5. And we created a foundation. Through the foundation, we created a program. The kids had a lot of problem with obesity and drugs. And my wife and I were doing Ironman. And we created a program through Ironman called I Say No to Drugs, Obesity, and Violence. So what we did, we would take these kids, started with my daughter, actually, my son. They used to do Iron Kids. So they go to a track, and then I started using gang techniques. Like with the gangs, they loved colors, right? So a T-shirt with a color. So I gave them a white T-shirt. I said, everybody starts running. We hired a coach, and here's how you're going to advance in this program. I don't give a damn how fast you are in life. That's not going to get you anywhere. What's going to get you somewhere in life is that you are a good human being and that you got good morals and you got good work ethics. So we're going to create a point chart, and you're going to get points for, number 1, showing on time. And that was the biggest challenge of the whole program in Mexico, getting kids to show up in time. And number 2, if you bring another kid, you get a program. If you're overweight, then we had a nutritionist, and we put you in a program, and as you lose weight, we go ahead and you get points. You know, how you treat teachers, how you treat your mother. And as you get points, then we give them a green jersey and we taught them how to swim. And then they get more and more points, and we give them a red jersey, and now they can ride a bike, and we give them a bike. So now that we're doing triathlon, we started with 2 kids, my daughter and my son, and a couple kids from school. And by the time we left, we had 300 kids that had lost amazing amount of weight, that were on a Friday night. I have pictures on my Facebook. These kids on a Friday night working their butts off. At dark, I'm saying, like, what kid in the world Friday night is out here sweating on the track trying to become better, you know? And it worked, and it was amazing. And then my wife wanted us to come back to the States because she wanted the kids to go to high school in the United States. And we came back 5 years ago. And I was happily retired. I was like, I walked my dog in the morning. I exercised for an hour and a half. And by 11 o'clock, I was done for the day, man. Life was good.
That's great.
And then through a series of events, it's almost like God called me to, hey, I did a big event in Houston. And this, I didn't realize that it was for big CEOs, Catholic CEOs. And this guy asked me, like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm retired. He's like, really? And what do you do? I said, well, I get up at 5 o'clock every day of my life. I feed the kids. I walk the dog, and I exercise for an hour, hour and a half, and I'm done.